Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking time out of this busy, rainy day to join us. Is there something else I'm supposed to say?
Yes, we are resorting to puppetry.
We're not going crazy at all.
Are we the only ones that are finding ourselves doing odd things out of what's that word? Out of our normal behavior?
No, it's all normal. Nothing new.
We're totally bringing the sunshine today because it is officially turned into like a rainy spring day here.
This week, like it's Wednesday, gross. It was sunny. Yesterday it snowed.
I know.
Today it's raining.
Welcome to Wisconsin.
I saw an arc go down the street. I don't know what that's about, but
yes. Yeah. We're just needing to bring the sunshine. I actually wore, you can't see them, but I'll show them to you. My very, very colorful pants today.
Show a little legging. Take it right back.
Yeah. So sometimes you have to bring the sun when the sun does not cooperate. And I don't know about you, but you know, most of the country in the United States here, at least, is like day 4 of quarantine. A friend, Terry McMillan, who may be joining us in a little bit, he said he's on day 10 because he had the flu and was trying to stay away from people early on, which we appreciate. But it's getting a little, right?
A little stir crazy.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
We can do it.
We've got this, you guys. We've got this. Thank you
people here.
To everyone who's shown up here. Mary, hi. Rachel, Ed, Jenna. Good to have you guys here. I'm seeing the live crowd is piling in here.
Yes. And you can always watch it replay. We know something very big is happening here at 3:00 Central Time.
Yeah.
Popa Francisco, is that what we're saying?
Whatever
language, is doing a rosary at this exact hour. So feel free, obviously, if you're watching this later, thank you for your prayers, and we will be doing our rosary later today too. So
yeah, it's we need everything we can get, and prayer is probably the best tool that we have. So that's kind of cool that he's encouraging people to do that. Of course, we had the National Day of Prayer last weekend. I think we can't underestimate that. I had the thought last night of the idea of wouldn't it be cool if like we had like an Easter miracle, you know, for the Christians in the audience. But I know that you know, all of us are pulling together in a beautiful way of all sorts of across the political aisle, religious spectrums, beliefs, all that stuff. And I think that is probably the coolest thing that's going on right now, and the thing that encourages me the most. So
the concept of being purple, I don't know if this is like circulating, but a friend of ours put up the other day, it's like, it is no longer time to be on the right side or the left side. We are all purple now. And I think that is beautiful. I'd
sign up for that.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't mean we have to agree on everything for the rest of our lives, but right now we're all in this together. So just like those animals in the ark that just went by.
We missed that boat,
so
literally.
Today's topic is the idea of not knowing is okay. So I wanted to share a story with you today. And this gives me an opportunity to play around with something. I'm going to try to share part of the screen here. And
which means I'm going to disappear.
Got some images. Let's see. All right. Hopefully you can see that.
Let's see. I guess I don't disappear too much.
Okay. So this story is in the book, A Chance of Awesome, but I thought it was kind of appropriate for where we are right now. So a few years ago, I think it was 2016 or 17, don't remember. Was when I first started doing my paintings, my oil paintings, and I first decided to put them up for sale. And so we had, at the Escape Adulthood Summit, we had a bunch of new oil paintings up on the stage, and I was very excited, but I was also very nervous because I had no idea if anyone would buy them. It was, you know, we had sold really small, tiny paintings for like $100 before, and so that was cool. But these were much more expensive, and I was like, Yeah,
scoot over so
a
you can
little bit.
see. There we go.
There we go. So we were. That's not allowed. Not allowed. We were very excited. I was very excited about this opportunity, but also very nervous, as you can imagine. Anytime you put yourself out there as an artist, it's a little scary. And so I was very surprised and enthusiastic and overjoyed when the first day I sold, I think, 2 or 3 paintings. And one of the very first paintings that I sold was this one here. Yeah. So this is called Monkey Business, what it came to be known. And I was so excited when I sold it because I was able to take a little handmade sign and I wrote sold on it in red with a little red dot on it. I don't know why that's a thing, but in art galleries, when a painting is sold, there's a little red dot. And so I was like overjoyed. And every 6 minutes, I would look back on the stage and I would look at this and be like, oh, it's sold. It's awesome, you know. So later on in the summit, a few hours later, there was a disturbance in the force. And I looked over at the stage. Now we had, I'll go back, we had all of the paintings were up on the stage like this, all stacked up on easels, kind of in a display. And it was interesting because there was this disturbance over there. There's like commotion. And I looked over and it looked like some of the paintings had fallen down. I'm like, oh, people are so nice. They don't want to pick up the paintings. They want to let me do it so it doesn't get ruined or whatever. So I walk over there and I realized that the Monkey Business painting not only had fallen, but had fallen on one of the easels below it. So hopefully on the screen, you can see in the background there how they were stacked, and it hit this easel and it tore a hole right in the middle of the canvas. And you can describe you heard my reaction. I don't remember what it was. Whatever the sound of a soul being crushed is like the worst sound ever.
Yeah. As soon as I realized what happened, I was like, I'm going to go run and hide. It was bad. I think I've kind of blocked out the real reaction. Yeah, so I was freaking out because I had just literally read an article a few days before about artists and how if they have a canvas that they particularly hate, one of the ways to get rid of it once and for all is to take a knife and slash it. And my painting now looked like it had gone up against an art critic named Freddy Krueger. And I was devastated, and I turned to Jessica, who was the woman who bought the painting, and I tried to get out some sort of like it'll be okay message, like, I guess there's more of a story to this now, and maybe it's more valuable. And I was just like, even as the words were coming in my mouth, I knew it was terrible. And I just, the whole rest of the day, I was just devastated because I knew like pretty much my only option was to have to give her the money back. And that was it. And I was hoping and trying to do what I teach, which is ask the question, well, what does this make possible? Bad things, turn it into lemonade, right? And I was like, nothing. I had nothing. Well, later on in the day, Jessica came up to me and she said, hey, I was looking at all these other paintings of yours, and a lot of the other ones have words on them. She said, I wonder if you could add words to this. So there's some way you could like put words on it and that would cover up the hole. Well, there was sort of like a miracle because right then it just clicked and I had an idea. I took the painting home that night to my studio, and when I got home, I took duct tape and I taped up the hole in the back, and then I found some words. I thought of words and I printed them out. It said Monkey Business, and I taped them over the hole. And then I did like with an oil stick, I created this kind of loop-de-loop thing to sort of tie the painting all together because the composition was a little wonky with just these words floating in the air. But after I did this little loop-de-loop thing, I was like, oh my gosh, I did it. Like, it worked. Oh my gosh. And I couldn't wait to go the next morning
to put the canvas back on the stage for Jessica to see when she came in. And she did, and her double take was priceless. And she was overjoyed, and she said, "You would not believe this, but this painting means more to me now." Part of the reason she wanted the painting was because she used to live in New York City. She worked as a stand-up comedian. She was there for 9/11, and the whole mix of business and comedy and all the stuff she had going on. This is like amazing. And she said, "By the way, I was a art major in college, and the composition of this painting is even better than the first how it was at first." And so I knew she was right. So this is how it ended up being, with these little extra writing and the little curly Q thing in the front. And here is me with Jessica with the painting. And it was such a cool thing. Now, as a speaker, I knew, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good story. It's going to be a good story. But at the time, I was desperate. So the reason I wanted to tell you this story is because if there was anything that I did right, because like I said, I was kind of a train wreck. If there was anything I did right, it was to be open to something good coming of it. I didn't know what in the world. It was almost like I was laughing at myself as I was thinking, oh yeah, something good will come out of this, like giving away money. That's great. There was nothing, but I was open. And so when Jessica came up and offered the suggestion, I'm almost positive if I wouldn't have been open, I would have been like, no, that'll never work, right? You do that, right? When you're kind of like really frustrated and bummed out, you're like, no, that won't work. That's dumb. It's stupid. Like your brain just closes it down. And so you have to stay open to see what's possible, even if you don't know what possibly could come of it. And I think that's fitting for where we are right now. From the minute we started these crowdcasts, and the messages I'm sending in our weekly newsletter is there's good that can come from it. The people who see silver linings are the ones who are looking for them. And I was looking. I couldn't find one, but I was looking and I was open to it. Thankfully, Jessica had a really good idea that kind of spurred it on, but we're all in a hard spot right now. And it's one thing to say like, oh, there will be good things that come out of this. Don't worry. And it might be really hard to see what that could possibly be depending on your current circumstance. And that's okay. It's okay to not know what good can come of it. All that I'm asking you to do is be open to it. Be open to it. Look for it. Open your heart. Open your mind. It'll come. It'll come. So as we deal with all this sort of craziness right now, I just encourage you to just stay open. Don't worry if you don't know exactly what you have to do. All you have to do first is just be open to the possibility that something good will come of this. And as I keep reminding myself, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do this week? What are you going to do over the next 2 weeks so that 5 years from now, you'll be looking at where your life is and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe if the coronavirus thing never would have happened, I wouldn't have this. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have this part of my business, all that stuff. So that was the message I wanted to share today. And you were there for,
Yeah, there's a really interesting part he leaves out of this story.
Well, let's hear it.
I've heard him tell this story on stage. We've been doing a lot of events where the kids and I are, in the back. And several times he's told this story from the stage, I don't get a chance to tell the PS on it. So I'm kind of excited to be able to do that today. But part of what he doesn't mention when he does the setup of the story is what a big deal it was that someone bought one of his paintings. You allude to it. But at the end, when you say, you have to give the money back, it really wasn't about the money at all. It was about the fact that you made something you weren't sure was going to be received and took a risk. and now someone wanted it, and then it's a disappointment, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's part of this journey for us too, is that I think a lot of us are going to be taking different risks maybe in the next couple weeks, months, who knows, with trying new things and tinkering and seeing what's next. And like that openness requires a little vulnerability.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not sure how it's going to play out or if you're even going to succeed. And that's okay too.
Yeah. And I think you saying that makes me think of how many people in the last week or month or maybe even year launched out on a new dream that coronavirus basically took a dump on and ruined. And there's got to be all kinds of stories of that. And so again, it sounds really trite to say it'll be okay,
right?
But it will. And you don't need to know all the story yet. Just be open. Even if you're 90% sure nothing good can come of it, just leave that 10% open, because you might be surprised. One of the things that you said yesterday is the idea of feels like we're living in a movie, right? Like it's just really, you feel like you're going to wake up and it's like, wait, this is going to be different tomorrow. Like this is just a dream. And I thought about that. I'm like, it is kind of a movie, but it's like, is it a horror movie? Is it a disaster movie? Is it a tragedy? Is it a comedy sometimes? You almost have to laugh to yourself, but I can say this. There's a little bit of a spoiler alert. We win in the end. The good guys win. So I believe
so it doesn't
that
have one of those artsy endings where you're like,
where everyone leaves depressed. And no, this is good.
I hate those movies
where they win in the end. Thanos goes down. We've got this. There's a lot of good news out there. There's a lot of bad news, but there's a lot of good news. And I've been trying to focus on what's good. Right. We've been talking about being more mindful about being involved in the news, and that can be a time suck and a soul suck for sure.
Yeah.
One of the things that is really cool that's kind of come out today is there's a company called Everlywell who announced that they are going to be able to start providing home test kits for coronavirus starting Monday. And they're ramping up production, and they're doing it with no profit to themselves. They said they've had 90 people working on it for 10 days, and they've worked together, and they're like kicking butt. There's also some talk about this, is it chloroquine, which is a drug that we've had for years, that there seems to be some hope that it might actually make a difference with the treatment. So it's a little bit early to tell on that, but I mean, that even if that's not true, it just gives me hope that we are putting an unprecedented amount of brain power and creativity and ingenuity on this thing. And excuse me, another exciting thing is drive-in movies. Maybe we'll have a resurgence. I saw an article in California that ticket sales are up for drive-in movies. People are just like dying to get out of the house, but they can still stay
awesome.
Sequestered in their cars, right? And they go. The only contact they have is with the ticket taker, and they have gloves and sanitation stuff. But other than that, everyone is in their cars. So I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So
that's awesome.
It's just kind of neat to see how people are stepping up.
Along those lines, a friend of mine on Facebook said that him and his wife have been going on long drives. He's like, gas is cheap. I mean, it's like $1.99 a gallon here. He's like, we're just putting on our road trip music and taking trips around the city and not going anywhere. Like that concept of just a Sunday afternoon drive just to get out of the house, which I think is a kind of a cool idea.
I like this quote from Jenna from the original Muppet movie. Life's like a movie. Write your own ending. Keep believing. Keep pretending. We've done just what we set out to do. Thanks to the lovers, the dreamers, and you. Is there ever a time when a quote from a Muppet movie is not appropriate at all? So
we could have had Kermit out here today. with the puppets.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Muppets, puppets.
You never know.
This is coming full circle, friends.
For those of you who came in a little bit late, you maybe missed our new associate here, Funshine Bear. We are just trying to keep it light here.
Yes.
Trying to keep it light. I'm excited to have all you guys here. I appreciate it. If you're not doing this with some sort of a beverage, you're missing out. It makes it better.
And we should also share what we're going to be doing after this call today. So we are participating in the Cheap Family Fun that we launched this week, that we put online, and 14 out of the 52 videos are free to whoever wants to download them. And challenge number 3 maybe that we had on there, two or three is big top living room, which means our entire living room is going to be turning into a huge fort. And the kids, they have been making plans on paper, and these are pretty amazing plans, let me tell you. So the goal is that we're going to watch a show tonight inside of our fort. So we have to
we're going to try to incorporate the TV into the
without
fort
it falling
itself.
over. So we'll
bringing out, that's the thing is the grown-ups have a little bit of ingenuity. We're more than
glad you do, because I can't picture this yet.
got some clamps downstairs. I got my mind's rolling, so we're gonna have a good night. Which is
I have a feeling
it
might still be up tomorrow. There's no way they're gonna want to take it down.
There will be pictures. So okay, let me see. One of the benefits of joining us live is there's the option to ask questions. And
question?
I pushed the wrong button. We have let's see, what is the question? We have Isaac. Opportunity, positivity, and looking for silver linings. Okay, let me start answering this. Okay, this is from Isaac, Seattle. Opportunity, positivity, and looking for silver linings seems appropriate for difficult, inconvenient situations. But how do we relate to those suffering loss and tragedy? That is a great question. So I think it's always with kindness, right? With kindness, love, empathy. One of the things that I write about in The Chance of Awesome is some of the people that I know who are speakers and other people in my life who have encountered horrific things, whether it was becoming paralyzed in a farm accident, cancer, terrible stuff. And in time, part of the reason those people are so inspiring to me is because they've turned it into a life-changing net positive. And I think all of us encounter those things a couple times in our life. They're kind of rare, but it's kind of rare for you to get through life without at least one of them. But the everyday things, right? Those are the things that are maybe seem a little bit more trivial, but they are just as important in how we relate to them because they happen more often, so they can impact our everyday lives. But for people who are in the middle of the worst of it right now, like the worst thing you can do is be like, it'll be okay. Like right. it just doesn't come off very good. And it's hard because we want to fix things, we want to do things, we want to help. And sometimes the best way to help is just to be there, to listen, to not say anything, just to be present, to ask, how can I help? You can ask, how can I help? But when there's silence, it's easy to want to fill the silence with advice. And it's not always the best. So that's my opinion. I don't know if there's anyone in the comments that has something that they would add to that.
There's a piece of your art. I was trying to find it on my phone, but of course my phone's all messed up with the pictures, of a penguin hugging another penguin. And that to me is like the best image. Just by hearing it, it doesn't do the emotion of it justice, because the expressions on these little penguins are really quite heartfelt. And maybe Jenna, I don't know if you'd be able to drop that photo in, if that allows you to do a photo or not. So my point is, sometimes there are no words, right? And maybe just an image, or obviously if it's in person, which probably these days it isn't, the words don't matter as much as the sentiment and your heart, right?
The other thing is, don't underestimate the power of a small act of kindness. I think about people who are, suffering losses or having a difficult time, and someone bringing over a meal, someone doing something small. I saw a really cool video of a older woman online today, and someone gave her money that they had collected to help cover her mortgage for the next month, and she was in tears. Now, like, is that enough money to fix everything forever? No, but just small things that let you know that you're with that person, we're with you. And I think that's the encouraging thing for all of us, is we all have a role to play in bringing light and sunshine into people's lives so that they can see the silver lining, because there is no silver lining if there's no light, right? So we can be that for others. So hope that was helpful, Isaac. If anyone here is live and wants to add anything in the comments, encouragement or any thoughts on that, please do that. Okay. So we got a few more minutes left. Feel free to shoot in another question if you have one.
Kids want to say hi again.
I wanted to share a couple thoughts. So I don't know if he's in here today, but my friend Scott was in here, the name tag guy, and he was in here the last couple days, and he heard about the concerts, doing the coronavirus concert thing. So he's actually doing a concert tomorrow, Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern time. If you go to facebook.com/nametagscott, you'll be able to find out all about it. But he's a really cool guy. He's
in one of your books. Which book?
I think he's in both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, he's actually. I quote him quite a bit. We're pretty good friends, and he's very inspiring to me.
He's the guy that wears the name tag 24/7 for now.
His picture was in the Penguins Can't Fly book, but I reference him in the Chance of Awesome book too.
Yeah, so he's actually a musician as well, a singer-songwriter. So do not miss it. It'll be awesome.
Yes, check that out. And I also heard, I don't know what this world is coming to, but apparently the Duggar family was found in violation of large gatherings, so they're going to jail. It's just sad. It's unintended consequences
it's probably
of this.
Too soon to be joking about Duggars going to jail. Isn't there like a whole thing?
I don't
know.
It's just, it's the unintended consequences of coronavirus. It's the sad parts of it. But all right, kids.
They're in the wings here. You can feel their
maybe
energy.
Just Ben.
Oh,
maybe just Ben today.
Girls, you want to come say hi?
Hi.
What's up, Benny? You guys excited? Hey. These two have been working on the plans. Let me see if I can get them.
Oh yeah, they're right behind us for the fort. So actually they have, this morning, the three of them were building in Minecraft, and they were building like a jungle world. So building has been their day.
One of them. Got the details here. We got the couch, the chair, the TV is down here. There's a lot of stuff going on, and then this is Ben's. Which side is up? I guess this side.
It's like a bird's eye view.
He signed it. He's got the official plans here, so he's responsible for that. So
there will be sleeping bags, I've heard, and there will be Christmas lights. So, and this is, I have to say, Terry McMillan, did I mention that before? He's been hanging out in his living room fort the last few days. So if you guys end up doing this, definitely share pictures, because don't miss this opportunity to turn your whole living room into a giant circus tent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. What are you guys most looking forward to about it?
Hanging out in it.
Yeah. Bringing stuffed animals. Ro is our stuffed animal queen, so I have a feeling there'll be lots of friends joining us, right? Yeah. Cool, dude.
Let's see. I'm looking at the comments here. Marilyn Loveland says, your damaged artwork also reminds me of the Steve Wynn elbow story about a Picasso painting, The Dream, that was damaged just before a sale of $139 million, which is almost what I sold mine for. It's ironic. But then ended up selling for $155 million after its repair. Story of how it happened made it worth more. Don't let go of your dreams. So are you saying that I should have charged Jessica more money after the repair? Maybe that, I don't know. All right, looks like we got another question here real quick.
You guys want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Oh, here we go. Okay, Rachel wants to know, what will the movie be?
Oh,
Do we have
for
that,
tonight?
Do we have that decided, guys?
Oh, yeah, we do, I think. For the house?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. So we've been rotating back and forth. We've been watching some old seasons of The Great Food Truck Race. Is that what it's called? With Tyler Florence.
Yeah.
And we had been watching Little House on the Prairie, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So we voted that tonight we're gonna dust those off and get back into that. So we'll be reminded of,
I think we're in the last season.
all of the
Laura.
conveniences they didn't have.
I know.
That we
This will
still
be good
have, even
perspective
amidst
for
all
us.
of the stuff. So.
Yeah. Really good.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with us. I wanted to just share one last thing. It was a quote I read today from Jack London. Who's a novelist. He said, "Life is not always a matter of holding good cards, but sometimes playing a poor hand well." So,
like that.
closing thought for you. Thanks for hanging out here. We will see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Again, go to our website to find out all of the tools we have for this crisis, ways to fight adultitis. Be sure to follow us here. Go to our Crowdcast page, follow us to be able to get notified when the next show comes live. So
Thanks for being here, you guys, all of you. It's great to see ya. Shine on.